break, OTR.
Let's see if this is actually going to work. The Old Tube Radio Network.
You may not find us on your TV, because in case you did not know, we're being brought to you by
OTR.
Brought to you by
27.085 megahertz.
Brought to you by RADI.
The Old Tube Radio Network.
Hey, RADIO. That's my favorite word on a Saturday evening. RADIO. Hello, the Old Tube Radio Network. Let me just start with saying, is there anybody out there that needs an early check-in? Over.
That would be me. Good to hear you, Dennis. 111.
All right, we've got 111 in the mobile throughout Fresno, and I think I heard 61. Over. All right, so we got Copenhagen, we got Robert in there, 111 and 61. Who else?
56.
56, just for kicks, and tricks are for kids, kicks are for everybody. Gotcha, Phil.
Kicks are for twins.
I'll get everybody up on the big board here. My name is Dennis, one of the many net controllers to sit in the air chair for OTR. I'll be here tonight. The Old Tube Radio Network, distributing information about the Class D 11-meter citizen band radio service, as well as listening and talking and chatting with the classic tube radios from the 1950s, 60s, and 70s. That were Class D, give you an idea of what they sound like, what they look like, and maybe the possible demeanor of stations and our participants back in the day. That's what we do here. We also say hello to our SWLs, the shortwave listeners tuning in from near and far out. OldTubeRadio.net is the audio link that takes you to a video link as well if you'd like to do that. And so hopefully that is a good thing. Anybody else need an early check-in? Over.
24.
24. You are looking good, and we've got you checked in, Joseph.
25.
And 25, way out there in Madera Heights, looking good. Over.
Hey, thanks, Dennis, for the early check-in, but yeah, 74-2 as well, if you don't mind.
All right, 25 and 74. Enjoy the rest of the afternoon, evening. Thanks.
Roger, roger.
Let me say hello, radio, to 00 up the hill. All right, I've got you, Jim, and we'll get you at the opposite end of the list here, but sounding good here at the beginning of the net. Also got to check in for SWL number 1, the Cosmic Check-In, one of the dynamic duo or trio, or how many ever people got together and got this thing started way back when, almost 40 years ago. SWL number 2, Oscar Bravo Papa. Mr. OBP Kevin is listening in over at the video. Let him know that he is 9 pounds, good modulation at Chestnut and Herndon. I saw that radio. I actually operated that Browning radio with the S meter stuck on S9, so it was no lie. SWL3. I need a longer cord on the item of interest here. Let's go. Let's see if Levon has made it over from Old Radio Night, where they've got some good stuff. We'll be checking in with JT and the gang, and I got to find out. I was on some wheel, some spinning wheel, and my name came up, and apparently I'm going to be getting some package. I hope it's not a ticking package in the mail shortly. So that should be fun. Look for Levon here in a moment. Let's go around the corner and up the street to SWL7.
Oh, good evening to one and all. This is SWL number 7, checking in.
And looking good, sounding good, doing that. If you're playing the home game, we are on week number 4 out of the 8 weeks, and thanks for jumping in.
And thank you.
All right, I think I've got everything the way it's supposed to be. A lot of people online. The Echo link is up. The Crossband link is up. We'll See what we got here in a little bit here. Let me get to the roll call over to, let's go out to Sangertown, SWL number 982 Dirt Dog.
Proxy.
Proxy for Mr. Dirt Dog. We will do that. Over to SWL 10. Not sure we've seen Chrissy and Dwayne in. Was listening in a bit earlier. See if we're getting any conditions. The mini grass was in, but didn't hear anything from the north end of the USA. We'll see what happens here as the sun goes down. SWL 11 and likewise SWL 12. That's Dan, Dapper Dan, Mr. Cornbread. Dapper Dan tonight is going to be looking for his favorite radio. So make sure that you check it in, whatever that might be. I'm sure just about anything you check in will be Dapper Dan's favorite radio. Let me see how we're looking here. I'm getting. They say no. I'm in a slow second spot to 12 there. All right, that's better. All right, now I'm on the same lap as Dapper Dan now. Got you guys checked in 11 and make it official, and 12. Thank you. And I agree. Tube radios. We gotta do those tube radios. Let's go over to SWL 13. I think I've got the crossband up tonight. Back to Sangertown, SWL 14.
SWL 14 checking in.
Putting in a very good signal tonight through the static, no problem. So if you've got some radio activity coming up, we'll probably be able to hear it in a good form here.
Yeah, you're making a great trip to Sanger this evening.
And thanks for jumping in. We are that lucky number 15. And I did see Hans out there in the early morning, checking in from Copenhagen, Denmark. At the radio station, I wish I had the title. I played some traditional music from Denmark, and it was two guys. One was on a guitar, and the other guy was on, wasn't a nickel harper, but it was probably an octave mandolin. Put that in for a little bumper music. I thought of you there, Hans, if you played our traditional music. I might do some more of that. Very, very good it was. 15 is checked in. 14 is checked in. Let's go to SWL 16 behind the curtain. We're here to see a curtain right there saying, yeah, it all looks good. Everything came in tonight. The AC is working. We had no issues setting up the radio. I know, I'm going to jinx it. No issues setting up the radio and controls tonight. And in fact, things even improved from last week. So we'll just keep our fingers crossed. So thank you, Charlie. Let's go to SWL 17. SWL 17. Okay, there's not one, not two, not three, not four, but 5 rows of jumping dolphins, letting me know that the 10 and the 30, yeah, there it is, should be getting checked in tonight. Listening. Skip the land for you guys. I know Dwayne is probably at the Browning or the Robin or something ready to give us all a check-in here in the Central Valley of California. 007 Extreme CB is checking in with the swag. The box of swag, where is it? We passed it around the green room, and there was also something I couldn't do, but it was something for the hot dogs and the hamburgers on the grill tonight. Of course, that's we're talking about 007. Let's see. Let's do this properly on television. Here we go. 007 extremecb.com at 27.025 and just about anywhere. Just about anywhere he can key the microphonium tonight. I'm not sure if he's in the RV where he's keying in from, but looking good. Hello to Ken, UDX 111. The ham radio lady is in tonight, Yankee Lima, or the young YL. I like that. prefix, suffix on the call tonight. 333 is in listening in. Albert, nice to win on the wheel. Yeah, I apparently there is going to be something coming my way. And what happened was I was watching as it was spinning around, and then I got on a phone call with Harvey, and then I missed the whole thing. My 15 minutes of fame, my fleeting 15 minutes of fame on Old Radio Night. We'll be chatting with JT here in just a minute, and I missed it. So I'll have to watch the replay. So we'll see if we can't get you guys tonight out of British Columbia. See if we got some conditions. I've been testing the 40-meter band, and it's really good up that way. Seattle area, up your way on 40 meters always works pretty good. Ben-Hur, CB, and Trucker.
Hello, I'm talking.
Beware of the rattlesnake eggs in an envelope. Maybe that's what I got on the list tonight. I heard somebody on the two-way, so maybe we've got somebody from near and far out. I hope I'm talking to somebody in Rockwood, Tennessee, where Foxman 362 is in control as always. 75 degrees. That temperature always seems to be about there. Precipitation is 0. Humidity is 96. That is, I'm glad that's not here. It would not be pleasant with that kind of humidity going on. Who else? We had a couple of, check-in for SWL 69. I've got 69 Ken out of Tulsa checked in, and also 64 while I'm here because Craig wanted to be in early. Back to the local list. Let's go to SWL 18. Well, I've got a Facebook check-in for Mikey, and SWL 19, of course, right here in the front row out of Derby, New York, by way of Belfast, Maine, by way of wherever you are tonight. On the cue cards. Looking good. They adjusted the lights, so it's a little easier. No, it's only easier if I put my hand up. They got more. Does it look good? They got more headroom light on tonight. Oh, I know why, because there's light coming through the window, so they had to shine the light on. All right, let me get you an official 1.9 and make it look good. Let's head out to the west side for SWL 20.
Number 20 here. Check me in. 2.9 and 5.4 also. And I'll have maybe 1 or 2 radios of interest tonight. This one will be one of them. The other one, it depends on how noisy it gets out there. Okay, 2.9 and 5.4 and me.
All right, sounding good. Very, very good audio on that, so hopefully we'll get a chance to talk to it a little bit more. Thanks for checking in. All right, I missed a couple of early check-ins. Let's get SWL 91. Felix needed an early check-in from way out there in the Bronx on the other side of our listening area. So 91, I've got you. If you're watching the replay, you're still there. Good deal. UDX 786, Uncle Hairball. Did you want an early? I don't know. I'm going to check you in now. We'll get you checked in at the appropriate time, but I see you on the list, so I don't want to miss anybody if they have to skedaddle. Where are we going now? SWL 31 checking in, Hendersonville, Tennessee, where it's raining. I'll get you guys in right now. What we're doing, though, is going to head over SWL 21. Let me get it on there, and he's probably listening. So 21, we're heading your way. I'm not sure how big our delay is tonight. Let me bring up the video of Old Radio Night, where tonight, if I could, I'll expand the opportunity here. It's on the Cobra 2000. Got the second stream going. Let's bring the audio up, if we can. I think they've got audio coming in. Yeah, okay, there we go. Kind of a little bit low, but there's the audio. There's the Cobra 2000, and we'll see if we can't get a check-in from across the pond, as it were, for 21 and all the gang over there. Here we go.
21, South Carolina, checking in. Cobra 2000. SWL 21, standing by.
Jared 183, checking in.
All right, I think I've got the transmitter up there. 21 and 29 checking
Hello,
in.
there in Conway, 21, checking in and waving.
Looking good. They're up on channel 15, I think. No, they're on 17. On the Cobra 2000, Lost in
That
Space.
was good. We didn't have no video, but that was good.
Yeah, we got them.
That's Conway's in there now. All right, we standing by.
All right, you guys did good. And thanks for spinning the wheel tonight. I'm looking forward to the goodie package, and I'm sorry I missed it. I stepped away and missed my 15 seconds of fame on old radio night. So good to be on the wheel, and that I didn't fly off like I did last time. Anyway, 73 guys, looking good. All right, trying to find the pin here. Red light. Chet keeps telling me the red light means you are transmitting. No red light, you are not transmitting. I got it. I just have to know where to look on that. And yeah, you guys watch the mail. Watch the mail from my package from old radio night. Let's see if Tyler is listening out of Alaska, SWL 22. And did I give you a shot of old radio night? Let me go back to the video. You can see what they're doing here. And there it is. That's what's happening. Cobra 2000. They're up on 17. You can listen in and see if they got conditions, but I don't think they do. But that's the Radio Shack tonight over at Old Radio Night. Back to the list, Old Tube Radio Network. Let's see if 23 Skidoo has skedaddled to the radio. Chet said to give 23 a check-in. Is he out there? I'm not sure. Not yet, but we'll get 23 checked in. 24 checked in earlier, as did SWL 25. Turning the page. Going to SWL 27.
27's checking in live from Studio G, where I have 95 degrees out here.
All right, it's from Studio G. Sounding good.
You still in there?
Yeah.
Yeah, can you do that?
Hang on a second. Let me get right
Go
back
ahead.
to you. KB6G.
Tape measure?
Get a tape measure. I could go outside to get it. I don't have one in here.
Well, I was asking you.
All right, sorry about that. I had more audio than was necessary for two-way communications. Good to talk to you on the net the other night, and great to hear you here on a Saturday night from Studio G. That's almost sweater time, I think. Over.
Roger that. Well, we'll see. Maybe the end of the week we'll think about putting a sweater on. All right, thanks, Dennis. Number 27.
Yeah, I noticed it might not even be 90 degrees by the end of the week, so we'll see what happens. Sounding good. Thanks for joining in on the Old Tube Radio Network. KB6GFD.
AI6QL. KJ5.
Hey, Dennis?
I'm down here and Canyon National Park.
All right, we got somebody else. Somebody's out in the national park, up at probably 5,000 or 6,000 feet. Over. All right, I don't have a full copy on you, but it should be a nice evening. It's 90-something degrees. It's probably 70 up there near Lodge Pole and the entrance to the park. We're down here in central Fresno, so thanks for saying hello, radio. KB6GFD.
Both feet, Dennis.
I know. I'm not Ringo Starr. I was never a drummer.
You gotta hire somebody.
No, there's got to be an easy way to do this. All right. Well, we're talking to Kings Canyon National Park. SWL 27 checked in Let me grab the other mouse and say hello to Gary and the gang, SWL 28, where they always have a nice Delta breeze. And when it's 90 here, it's probably 72. Let me guess. 28 checking 76 on the Delta breeze. Late barbecue topped off with cherry pie in the green room. Looking forward to that. I haven't had some nice slice of cherry pie in a while, but the barbecue is good. We've got some special barbecue sauce courtesy of ExtremeCB.com, and I will say use it very carefully. Over. SWL 29 with the proxy check-in. SWL 30 listening in and waiting for the skip to arrive in northern Idaho. SWL 31, Robert and Teresa checked in and listening in from a rainy Hendersonville, Tennessee, over to SWL 32. SWL 33, myself, Bozo Control, and the station's wandering in and out tonight, the Old Tube Radio Network. Hello to Cowboy UDX 357. Gonna have to watch some of the replay. Me too. JT, I gotta watch that replay and see what's going on with the spinning wheel. So 76 in Sacramento, 96 in Fresno, going down to 60-something tonight. SWL 34 is Jimmy and Captain Chaos and the Railroader checking in from way out there in Batavia, Illinois, and working on Old Tube Radio, oldtubecbradio.com, and all sorts of great Facebook pages that you need to check out. Mr. Nobody is waiting for some conditions tonight. I didn't hear anything, but he's another one of the stations that'll just come trotting in like they're down the street and say hello radio. So we're listening for that. Directed net roll call is where we are at. We're on page 2 if you're following along with the home game, and we are working our way through our listeners tonight to get to those classic tube radios, which we will do shortly. SWL 35 is, of course, Mr. Bill and Red Monkey Communications in beautiful Cheyenne, Wyoming, hopefully listening in tonight. SWL 36. And Ken is in, UDX 111. Ken, we got you checked in. Let me put the X in the square for the 111. Well, you know, 111 is already taken on the list. Otherwise, we'd put you on that one. Let's go to SWL 37.
Yeah, give him a proxy.
All right, proxy for Christopher. He might pop in a little bit later. Thanks for that. Heading out to beautiful Byron, California. There is no relay stations at about 3,000 miles away for Sam to check in, but Sam, we got you. I know you're out there. And special tip of the OTR cap to Captain Robert. Checking in tonight from his appearance over on Old Radio Night with DD21JT and the gang. Looking good, Robert, and sounds like you are in the upswing on the recoup. And that is a good thing. Always glad when you can join us here live on a Saturday evening. The Old Tube Radio Network. Captain Robert, looking good. We got you checked in. Over to SWL 39. SWL 40. SWL 41. Looking on the screen for 41. There's Sam. We got you checked in, Sam. Also, low to Standing Stones 1776. Thanks for jumping in tonight. Of course, the ever-popular UDX 483, Mr. Bud Bucket. Looking good on frequency tonight. SWL 42. I think we got a proxy for 42.
Yes, sir.
Okay, lighten up the X in the square for that. Over to SWL 43. SWL 44. I was thinking we might hear 44 tonight. I was hearing him on the Friday net. I'll get Ray checked in with an X in the square. Heard Reedley Town, Direct 111, so the band has been in good shape locally, which is always nice. Hello to Matambale and the gang. Greetings to myself and all the Old Tube Radio operators and shortwave listeners. We've got you checked in. Also, I'll wave the hand up to SWL 45 Paul and Kelly. I'm just looking, I don't know why my output changes all over the place, but sometimes it does that. So hoping you guys can get on the air soon. We've got you checked in. Did I call SWL 40? I know if I didn't, he would have been jumping in anyway. Who else just popped in on the balcony? They're shining those little red lights, laser beams, trying to get my attention. Don't do that. Frank D1 from Yellow Springs, Ohio, checking in. And is it really yellow? And do the springs need any oiling? That's what we want to know. Let's go to SWL 46. What is Arlen doing tonight in Wisconsin somewhere? Let's now here's the station I thought might be up on the National Park, SWL 47. And he could still be. We did get a National Park check-in, but it wasn't the one I thought. SWL 48. Get Sammy checked in for 8. Thank you very much. SWL 49. Got a note to check in 49. That's, of course, Smitty and Sweet Country Mama, which I will do. We jump up to and out to Sangertown for SWL 51.
SWL 51 checking in.
Sounding good, sir. Into the radio room tonight. We've got a big X in the square. Thanks for joining the Old Tube Radio Network.
10-4, Dennis. Have a good evening.
And then over to SWL 52. Knowing 52, he was found someplace cool to hang out with the family. I'll get Aaron checked in. Expect maybe to hear him on the Golden Microphonium Mobile at some point. Over to SWL 53. I'm not sure if Bel Air checked in early. I don't have him marked in. I'll get Bob checked in, the legend, but if he stops by, I always redo the X. SWL 54's got a proxy check in up the hill for SWL 55. Just for kicks, we checked in SWL 56. SWL 57. 57, of course, Brown Dog Audio in Central Kentucky. Probably just a mouse click away, an internet latency away from checking in. And hello, Peter, and I agree. Private Thor, you guys always amazed us when we first came in long ago here in the Old Tube Radio Network, and always a thrill when you guys can jump in from Squamish and the BC area, whether it's on a Friday night on the Dishbanks sideband net. Ron's got a good receiver. He can hear you. or you put up with the weak station here in Central California and join us on a Saturday evening. Let's go over to SWL 58. SWL 59. Uncle Hairball was in early. I'm checking you in now if you are still up on the window. There's the check-in above my head. Now, I'm not sure what was going on with this station. We'll need an explanation, but I was hearing him on some type of wet noodle antenna. SWL 60.
Well, you definitely don't have a wet noodle antenna there, Dennis. They're going to hit me with 45 pounds. Really in the web now. SWL 60, checking in.
And I hear you loud and clear. You are big on the signal meter. Whatever you're doing before, I could hear you, but it wasn't super loud, but it was there. So maybe you had the wet noodle antenna. Anyway, you're looking good, and we've got room for you on the list if you're around later.
Oh, yeah, we'll be around. Yeah, I was on the half pint. It's only 37 inches long. Little tram, half pint. I call it a half pint. Anyway, thanks a lot. Once again, SWL 60 checking in.
Good deal. You and your half pint antenna are making me thirsty. Maybe that will be your alternate handle as half pint. Over.
Oh boy.
Thanks for stopping by. The Old Tube Radio Network is where you're listening. What you're listening to, it might be direct on channel 11, 27085, listening at oldtuberadio.net, or tuning in the, at this point, live video over on YouTube or wherever it is. I don't know. It just, what's the old song? It goes around and around and around, and it comes out there. But thanks for joining us. We've got the crossband link up. We've got the Echo link. Looks like Al is in from Spark. We'll catch him in a couple of minutes here. SWL 61 checked in early. Copenhagen from the north part of the valley here. Let's go to SWL 62. And Joe, you might have to fight for that handle. Matambale says he knew a guy long ago with a handle half pint, truck driver, and a funny guy. So maybe he's around. Maybe he'll share, and you could be let's see, a half pint. What is a half pint? Is a cup? If you share the cup, she'll be half cup. Half a cup with a half pint. I don't know. I'm getting my ounces confused. Let's go to SWL 62. Shortwave listeners 63. Shortwave listener 64 checked in early. SWL 65. It's always a pleasure to hear this station when it comes up to 27085 and brings the flat side out to the Old Tube Radio Network. SWL 66. Heading up the road a piece to Canby, Oregon, and I know that Bill is listening in. I think I saw him on my chart, about half an hour ago. Checking in from Canby. Thanks, Bill. I've been checking out receivers up your way on 20 meters. Seems like there's a good hop from this area up to where you guys are during the day, up on 14 megs. It doesn't take much, just a little vertical antenna, so always good to have some propagation somewhere. Let's go to SWL 68. SWL 69, Kenny out in Tulsa, stopped by the Radio Shack earlier and said, give me an early check-in, and we're checking you in now as well. Who else is joining us? Warrensburg, New York. Centralville, Virginia, up in the balcony, Plymouth, Minnesota, Sacramento, Edmonton, Alberta. And the unknown SWL, at least you know who you are. And that's okay. You want to wear a bag over your head? The rubber ducky, make sure you leave a little hole for the rubber ducky to stick out. SWL 70.
Ryder Dennis, how the heck are you, man? 70, checking in, sir.
I'm doing great. I'm enjoying the summer weather that hasn't been over 100 degrees, but more a day or two. Looks like the temperature will be going down. So anyway, enjoying whatever it is that it gets thrown at me, and I'll throw it back. Over.
Yeah, we'll take it. These are my temperature-wise, not too my favorite months. Hey, rumor has it that you may or may not have either a new or higher antenna. Would you care to elaborate at this time?
All right, in 25 words or less, not higher at the moment, but I'm working on it. And new is a relative word. I had sort of a kludged together antenna in the past, and so what I did is I bought a newer version of the same 40 and 20-year-old antenna, and so all the parts are new, all the connections are good. It's whatever updates that it came with, whether they were good or bad. Some were good, some were not so good. And it's the classic Starduster, which is, when you think of it, it's just a quarter-wave ground plane. It's basically 4 102-inch whips stuck together and configured in such a manner to give you the proper impedance. So it's basically the same antenna, but a newer version of said. Over.
Well, it's working very well for you. I remember a neighbor had one of those back in the 80s. Did it have some sort of like a circular ring near the bottom or something like that?
Well, that is the Astroplane. This looks like a rocket ship. You could, once you get it built, you could just stand it on the roof, and it'll look like a 1950s rocket ship with the 3 radials at about 120-degree angle coming out from the radiator, and it is 102 and 102, so a little less than 18 feet total, and you feed it in the center. You feed the quarter wave, and then your shield's going down to the droopy drawers, and it sits on top of the mast. It's kind of a strange configuration, but they have been around for a while, and originally made by antenna specialists back when they were made in the USA, and now Sirio makes them, I think, in Italy somewhere, and shipped to your door.
Okay. Yeah, you're right. I got that crossed up. All right. Thank you for sharing. We'll look it up and check it out again. It's been a while since I heard that name. Anyhow, like I said, it's working great for you. So thanks very much for doing everything you do, Dennis.
All right, and thanks for stopping by the Saturday night place to be. Yeah, it was a popular back in the day, but there are, 5/8 wave ground planes and things that'll run 5 kilowatts and matching coils and 7/8. Anyway, so it's sort of it's like the VW bug of antennas. It's not very pretty, but it works, and there was a lot of them out there, and they're still making them. So why not? Maybe someday soon we'll grow and get a real antenna up in the air. But it's working good. I'm hearing people well tonight, and they seem to be actually responding to what I say as though they might be hearing me as well. Thanks for jumping in. Oh, and I might add, for those listening, you might recognize that voice, or you will recognize that voice occasionally sitting in the air chair of the Wednesday night Central Valley Net on 10 meters at 28,445 upper sideband. So if you were to listen in, or if you are a microphoniumed SWL in that band and in the area or in the skip zone, they have a visitor and section at the end of the roll call. So jump in any time and join us here in the Central Valley Wednesday night net. All right, thanks, Mark.
Also.
And there is an also. Over.
Also at 7 p.m. that same night, Wednesday nights at 28.140, there is a CW net open to all. If you're typing, if you're keying, if you're paddling, it doesn't matter. If you can only do your call sign like me, all are welcome. Over.
Oh, and thanks for that. And 28,140 down on the CW portion of the band. My finger right now, and you can't see the video, my finger is on the J38 key. So I'll do a little practicing. I mean, this is my novice key. I'll do a little practicing. Maybe I can get up to X words per minute to get my call and the other station call and a check-in on the J38. I just got to wire a plug. I used to have it all wired up, but I took it apart. A plug to go right into the CW jack. So I will put that on my to-do list. Over.
Cool. Thanks, man.
All right, thank you. The old Tube Radio Network, Direct Net Roll Call. I will get SWL71 here. Now, here's a guy that knows his dits and his daws, his didaws and his da-dits. SWL71 Stan, who often is on possibly the sending side, making sure that stations, were they to want to, can pick up their ham radio licenses, whether they're coded or not. You don't have to have the code anymore, but I think you can. I think they still give the test. I'm not sure. So Stan is, I don't know. How many is it, Stan? Like a million? 1,000 stations? He's done a lot. He's done a lot of testing in the VE program and made sure a lot of people got on the air. So we'll have to get on the J38 key just to impress Stan. We got you checked in, looking good. Over to SWL72. SWL73. And I'll get 73 checked in. John is also a ham, and he, back in one of the Fresno Amateur Radio Club field day, not as a field day, but one of their annual gatherings, they used to have QLF, and that's the left foot CW contest. And John was often a winner on the big CW key with his left foot. I kid you not. So I wonder if he's practicing. I may give him a run for it. 74 checked in earlier. Over to SWL 75. And I'm looking to see who's in. Foxman 362. Did Google took down Ultra Radio Net? No, I don't think so. I'm up on this one. Let me see. Let me press the button here and see if I can get an instant replay. I'm up on this one. Let me see. Let me press the button here and see if I can get an instant replay. That's the instant replay. Let me see. On the QC. Let me press the button here and see if I can get an instant replay. See the loop? The instant replay. Let me see. On the QC. That's pretty funky. All right, let's stop that. See the loop? Let me get out of that. That can drive you crazy. So I think we're still good up on YouTube. Let me say hello to Sherlock Ohms, checking in from northern Minnesota. Saying good evening to all. And Beagleman 888 says, it doesn't have enough power to make it to California. Well, we just have to have the conditions. Sometimes you don't need a lot of power. Alan, 22 Oak Hills checking in. Thank you for stopping by the Old Tube Radio Network. Let's go to SWL 76. I don't remember. I think a lot of people won't even try. So I always thought, well, maybe I could beat the guy. But I'm going to practice. If we have a QLF, a left foot contest, we'll try it. SWL 77.
Good evening, Dennis. And that was pretty cool, man. You had the ultimate echo going on there. I hope everybody's having a good evening, staying cool, and have a wonderful Sunday coming up. 77, 1017, checking in.
Sounding good. I'm waiting for my AGC to go back to normal levels. It's going to be a great weekend. It's going to be a great week. Temperature's going to be what, in the mid to low 90s for the end of July? Come on. People might want to actually live here in the Central Valley during the summer. It's still hot. It's still hot for a lot of people. But those of us who know the possibility of 110 will usher in a 92 any day. You're sounding good, and thanks for checking in. Station I have not seen, and I have not talked to recently, and that would be out in Wild Wildemore, SWL 78. I wonder what Richard is doing tonight. We'll keep an eye out on that. All right, checking the echo link. Looks like it's working. Looks like it's connected to myself. I don't know how that could happen. Let's go to SWL 79. Mr. DC, I will give Philip a check-in. Is he hanging out probably at the Central Valley Sea Beers Facebook page? Always check that out. See who's checked in. Check it out. Leave a photo of your favorite on-the-air radio, whether it be a tube transistor or otherwise. Might talk about that tonight. Might talk about building your own. There was a kit. S9 Radio. I hope Greg stops by tonight. He had a really informative, great video about one of the first radio kits for CB radio. I think it was a 5-tube transmitter. Don Stoner working with Radio Shack back in 1959. And what were the first radios? Who were the first manufacturers? We know a couple of them, but the infancy of what was the FCC trying to do, and who's going to pay that $8 to $20 to get licensed and put up an antenna? I mean, it wasn't cheap. $150, $200 was could be a month's salary to get on the air, especially if you had to buy a base and a mobile. But good stuff. So hopefully Greg will check in. Let's go over to SWL 80. Getting things reversed again. I know. The chat saying, look for the red light. Red light means you're on. SWL 81.
37.
Got me turning the page. Let me go to page 4. But the guy that's on page 2, 37, hello radio.
Oh, Dennis, I'm sorry. I've been watching a show in there on TV. I lost time.
I think that's the name of the show. Actually, somebody proxied you in, and I mentioned that you will probably be in at some point. So we're changing the proxy to an official. Let me go to the number here, 37. So it will actually show up in the video to the official 37 check-in over.
Thank you very much, sir. You have a wonderful evening.
I will. It's doing well. I'm going to look for some radios. We're getting our favorite shortwave listeners checking in. We got a lot of people watching on the video, listening in at oldtuberadio.net. From San Ramon, Modesto, Ware Shoals, South Carolina, Centerville, Virginia, up in Tracy, Plymouth, Minnesota, Sacramento, Edmonton, Alberta, Belfast, Maine. We've got Copenhagen, Denmark, and so everybody's having a good time tonight. Back. Intermission is over. They're calling you.
Thank you, Dennis.
I think this station is enjoying even better weather than we're having here in Central California, but I'll give it a try. SWL 82. And that would be Ron, Mr. Bones, out in the Ditch Banks. He does the Ditch Banks sideband net on Fridays, 8 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time on 27 365. He's got a great antenna. So check in there when the net is up, which is about every Friday. And Ron, if you're listening in, I hope you are enjoying the cool, nice weather out on the coast. We got you checked in. Let's go to SWL 83. And SWL 5. All right, Levon, I thought I got you already. Am I going into a time warp? Are we doing the time warp again? I'm going to put... No, there's an X there. I will officially re-up it on the big chart here. I know... I think you have... Don't you have a job over at Old Radio Night? Doing something with the antenna connections? I don't know. I mean, JT said you are like the ultimate engineering tech guy, so he don't want to lose you over there. So don't come over here too early, because he'll get me in trouble. They're saying you're SWL 5, but anyway, we got you checked in. All right, I want to go back to page 4, where we are looking for SWL 83. And then we'll get the gang checked in. That's, of course, SWL 84, SWL 86. I hear the wind from the fan hitting the microphonium. I think I may have to adjust that coming up in the break here. SWL 87 and 88, that's the Cheerios Kid, Mountain Maid, Tandy Girl, and the Snowy Owl, respectively. Also, SWL 89. SWL 90's got a proxy check in. SWL 91, Felix checking in early. Let's go to SWL 92, Mr. Roman. No, right there. Perfect. All right. Thanks. Thank you. All right, we have the crew just bring in some refreshments. I like that because it is a little bit warm in the studio tonight. I want to make sure that I set it somewhere where I won't spill it. And then we have the cleanup crew come in, which is me, SWL 93. SWL 93.
Hey, evening time, Dennis and everybody. 93 STE checking in.
Sounding good. I don't know where all the skip went. It was in a little bit earlier, but it's a bit quiet out there now. You need the flat side antenna pointed the right way, and it will happen. Looking good here on the Old Tube Radio Network tonight from Clovis.
Thanks, sir. Appreciate you. Have a good night, everybody.
Trying to get you marked in on the analog list as well. Let's go up to SWL 95. And let's see, 67 degrees in Claremont, 30 miles east of Los Angeles. Yeah, I know where that is. They're in Claremont, and what's the other one? I don't want to say Rialto, but that's way out in Inland Empire, Southern California, Pasadena, Upland, beautiful downtown Burbank. You know, they make radios there. I grew up, ham radio lady. I grew up in for a long time and started my CB days back in Manhattan Beach. Had a pretty good location because the beach, there's a hill. It kind of looks down into L.A. Basin up around, you know, Hollywood Hills and Brentwood and all that. But that was a good old days. There was when all 20, and I kid you not, all 23 channels were rocking and rolling back in the late 60s and 70s down in L.A. It was hard to find an open spot unless, of course, you were on like channels 12 and 13 where you were running call letters. So a good deal up in Claremont. Let's go over to SWL 96. Oh, you know, that's Kurt. He's over on Echolink, so let me grab him. Hold on. You know what happens is this foot switch slides around, and I go to the wrong switch, and I think I'm transmitting, and I'm not. So let's try a link up, and the Echo link for 96. W9KEC from KB6 GFD Trachet transmission, Kurt. Is he listening in? Oh, here we go.
Everybody on the net. This is Whiskey 9 Kilo Echo Charlie. I have been AWOL for the last couple of weeks. I've been on a different sleep schedule and kind of messed with me, but tonight the band that I play in had a gig. We had a backyard luau, and that went over pretty good. So I'm awake, and hopefully I'll start making this again, Dennis. As always, thanks for taking the net. Everybody, thanks for stopping by and checking in, and we will turn it back over to Net Control. KB6 GFD, Whiskey Niner, Kids Eat Crayons, 7-3.
Yeah, you can kind of melt them into the frosted flakes, and they are very good. All right, well, thanks for carving out some time on a Saturday evening to jump into the Old Tube Radio Network. Sounds like your gig is a fun thing, and I used to do that, the change your time schedule, and sometimes you're up late, sometimes you're up early, and sometimes you are wishing you could take a nap sometime in between. Sounded good, and keep up the good work. Hope to catch you on the bands here or there somewhere, but always enjoying you jump in on the Old Tube Radio Network. 73 from KB6 GFD.
7-3, Dennis, W9KEC.
And that is Kurt. He is up in Kokomo, Indiana. up in Nineland, jumping in from the Echo link tonight. Let's go to SWL 97. I'm not sure what kind of delay Jim might have up in Boston tonight, but we will look for you on the link up here. SWL 98, not too far down the road. Where did I put the... I can't find my mark. Oh, here it is. It rolled away. SWL 98, Tracy. Tracy checked in from Central Valley Sea Beers, right here in the Central Valley, of course. As they say, hence the name. SWL 99, I will get a proxy check in for Radio Randy. Haven't heard from him in a while, even on the 75-meter band. I think he's doing okay. Normally we'd be checking in with SWL 100. I will get a proxy check in for Tony out in McClellanville. But while we're there, let's get a link up while we're on the Echo link and see what Albert is doing. I think I missed you last week, and that was my fault, Al. But anyway, go ahead and take a transmission. KI6CVA from KB6GFD over. See what's happening up in Nevada tonight.
Yeah, I don't have a modulation meter here, but it says I'm transmitting. And yeah, it's Albert here at KI6CVA. I'm talking to Dennis, I think, at KB6GFD. It's good to listen to the Old Tube Radio Network, and I'm really looking forward to today's radios. I got a Robin a couple of months ago, but I can't get it to transmit very far. But someday I'm going to call in and talk to you live. I feel like I'm a little bit on a delay here, but it's always fun to check in with the Old Tube Radio Network. Over.
Hey, I agree. It's always fun to be somewhere on the Old Tube Radio Network where you're either listening in or jumping in for a quick transmission on a Saturday evening. We've been doing this almost 40 years, so I'm kind of getting the hang of it. You just a couple of transmissions sounding good. Sparks, Nevada, or in Nevada, sounding good on the Echo link. So have a good rest of your weekend, and we'll look for you next week. Everything's going great. 73. KB6GFD.
And this is KI6CVA Albert, and just checking out. Okay, see you. Talk to you later. Hear from me later on the older tube. Okay, here we go.
Directed net roll call, the Old Tube Radio Network. The radios are coming up. I'm heading that way. Let's go to, and somebody said, are we on a simulcast to Old Radio Night? So if you're watching courtesy of Old Radio Night, JT 21SC, that guy with the I call it the alligator station. It's more like a hippopotamus station. He's even a big mouth, but a big signal to go with it. And I know I didn't fall off the wheel tonight. And so we'll be looking forward to whatever it is that is heading our way. They said they're going to put it in the green room for 24 hours before I can open it, just in case. Just in case there's something they're not telling me about opening that package. Probably some YouTube video I'll show up on as the package does weird things when I open it. Let's go to SWL 102. Oh, and John is right there. He knew. He says, all you have to do is say the word, and I will be here. Checking in, Charlie Alpha Tango has been fed, so she can no longer see the bottom of her food bowl. Is it good now? So sometimes they do it. What are these new things they have? The churros. It's the little packages, and you squeeze out the little, I don't know, the stuff, the food. The cats kind of like it. Once they get the hang of it, they like it. It's kind of a messy thing, but put some churro in there. Let's go to thanks for checking in, John, all the way from Scranton, Arkansas. I got to check my updates too, because some people check in over here and then I miss them and they scroll away. Let's go to SWL 103. Joe, right there, checking in from upstate South Carolina. 95 today, 96 tomorrow. and 73. No, 73 is the bye-bye sign. That's exactly what we're doing here. Our humidity is not going to be 90%, though. It's going to be more like in the 20%. Tango Romeo 21 X-ray. Thanks, Joy. I always have to look, because Joy is like one of those people that knows how to check in at 3 different places around the room here. So I always have to be on my radio tippy toes to make sure I see it. There's the X and the square. Let's go to up the hill, SWL 109. 109, you are sounding good. Thanks for jumping out of your Saturday routine and jumping onto the radio and saying hello. You're doing a good job, and we'll look for you again next week.
Well, hopefully next week, and you're reaching a bit. You get to the skip like normal. Thanks for that, Dennis, and the rest of your evening.
All right, thanks. Yeah, we're getting a reprieve tonight. So there's that skip that we like to talk to because they can check in, the ones that kind of ignore us. So I know being up in the altitude there, you hear it no matter what, if we can't hear it or not. But we're hearing you great tonight. Thanks for checking in. SWL 110. SWL 111 checked in. Are you still mobile and around, Robert?
No, I'm back home. I heard you all the way to San Limits.
Man, and you are sounding good. You're right. You're above the noise, and everything is good. So we must have polished off the antennas the right way. Over.
Yeah, the important thing is you sound great. I don't know what you did setting it up, but you take notes because this is the way it used to sound years ago. And I'm talking about years ago, and I haven't heard you like this in at least 5 or 6.
Yeah, you know what it is? They helped me straighten my tie tonight, so I think that's it. If you look good, you sound good. Over.
Well, the magic is happening like it used to. I mean, you got enough punch to get out here. I'm a long ways away, man, and you really sound good, Dennis. Thank you. Take care.
All right, good to be heard, and I'm working on getting it up a little bit farther on the altitude, so that might help as well. But the band is quiet tonight, no skip, so that helps out as well. Thanks for checking in. All right, the curse of a 2-button foot switch is when the second switch doesn't do anything. But that's the one you seem to be using. Let's go to SWL 113. Hey, and there's S9 Radio WikiWhack. We were talking about you earlier, and thumbs up to the recent video for the the early radios, and the kit with Don Stoner. I really enjoyed all your research you did on that, and it sort of confirms some of the radios that we've been checking in. And the question is, and you asked it, and we're still looking to see what was the definitive. Was there a definitive? We were first, with the Class D on the air. Great little kit for $39. That was still at $1.25 for a minimum weight. That was still a couple of weeks. A pay for a lot of people. So good stuff. We'll be looking for updates on that. And if you're hanging around tonight, Harvey may have some questions for you. We may be checking in some of the early 1960 radios, 59. You can always tell because if they went mobile, they had a 6-volt DC option to run in that Crown Victoria. Anyway, thanks for jumping in tonight. Hope your weather is good.
Very good, yeah.
And the break OTR, over.
SWL 40 checking in.
All right, 40. I don't know what radio you're on, but I hear you. Sounds like you're talking through wax paper, but we got you.
Yeah. Well, I'll have to. Yeah, it's acting a little funny. All right. Thanks.
All right. Thanks for jumping in. Go get that glass of water. We got a proxy. Somebody proxied in. I'll make it an official X. Thanks. And we're trying to get to the radios here. So we call one. Let's go to SWL 114.
114, and Dennis, whatever you did to your antenna, you came up about 1.5 S units in my neighborhood.
All right, well, it's one of those things where you just check to see the connections are connected and that the pieces are touching where they're supposed to be touching. Check the coax and do all that good stuff. So that's a good thing. And that is, something that you can always do in the shack, even connections from the radio, jumper cables to the antenna, switch boxes, occasionally like an automobile that needs to be, lubricated and the brakes checked. You got to do the same thing with your antenna and the coax and all that stuff. So thanks for the report, and you're sounding good. We've got you checked in.
All right, thank you.
And like I said, working on a little bit of altitude. Hopefully that won't spoil the good stuff. Let's go to SWL 128. John, of course, is one of the original shortwave listeners from back in the 60s when Popular Electronics recognized the listeners and actually handed out little QSL shortwave listener cards. And John has one up on his wall, SWL 128, checking in about 1 hour ago. John, I see you there. We will put the X in the score. As always, thanks for jumping in to the old Tube Radio Network. Over to SWL 131, SWL 133, SWL 135.
Hello. Everything seems to be working. SWL 135, checking in. How copy?
Copy is excellent. Over.
Groovy, then I'll check it in.
All right, we are checked in as 135, and there's probably a spot for you on the old Tube Radio list coming up. And it is coming up, so don't go away. Maybe your favorite radio. SWL 137, we've got a proxy lined up for 137, and SWL 145 up in Coarse Gold.
K6 BLF for ID.
And Tony, I think he left some questions. Maybe we'll do the questions before we head to the Tube radios. SWL 147, Neil checked in early out of Fayetteville, North Carolina, Kakalaki. I got 147 checked in. And Bill, William, yeah, it's that 46 10,000. That's why it's so hot in here. They didn't tell me. Yeah, I said smelled something burning. It's just a little tube, just a little ceramic tube. I don't know if they glow. I think they glow. I think they're this one is probably water cooled. Let's go over to Bobby, SWL 188. I got to check in for Snow Beast. The Mako 5000. That's probably what I need. Really, is like a real antenna, but the Starduster seems to be working. SWL 195 checked in as 00. We're getting them checked in again. If you're out there, Jim, hello radio. Yeah, checking in and checking in. The 2-for-1 coupon special lasts for another 4 weeks. Over. And Jim is one of our listeners and operators that's been out here for a long, long time, so he knows how to do that 00 because he's done it a lot. Originally, the 00 was reserved for the FCC commissioner. Now, I kid you not. So back in the early days, whoever was the current FCC commissioner was the 00, and occasionally we would, and I'm giving some little air quotes here for those that can't see me, which is just about everybody because we're on the radio. We would check in with the FCC commissioner via the telephone, and the commish would give us the latest happenings on what was going on with 11-meter radio. It was pretty fun. So we retired that 00, and then it goes to a chosen person with perfect attendance on the SWL list from the previous 8 weeks. Let's go to SWL 226. I will get Mr. Shockwave checked in because he is probably out there doing something. And anybody that I missed on the list or whatever, would you like to check in now? Over.
Yes, please.
Yes, please. Okay, I've got 47. Over.
Yes, please forgive me for being rather tardy this evening, but good evening to all from the Radio Lounge 47.
Hey, not a problem. You are sounding good. We actually had somebody checking in on, well, I don't know if they were checking in, but they were saying hello on 2 meters, and they were up at Kings Canyon. When I first heard the park thing, I thought it might have been you, but it was not. So you are safe and sound at the base station and sounding good.
Oh, my God. Okay. Who was it and where was it?
They were very, very weak, in and out of my noise. I didn't get the complete call. I think it was I'm looking to see if I wrote it down. But we were doing a crossband check-in, and they heard us, in the valley down here, and said hello radio. So they said they were at Kings Canyon.
Yeah, well, that's kind of interesting yeah, even on 2 meters, that's interesting that you could do that. I don't know about the logistics of that. Well, I was going to do Morrow Rock tonight, but unlike last year, I did check the weather report, and it said there was kind of a chance of thunderstorms up there. Maybe it was just this afternoon. But after last year, I decided, well, I'm going to play it safe. Last year was bad, man. There were people running. As I was chatting with you, there were people running off of the rock. It was awesome.
Oh, that was a good thing. So he might have been right at the entrance. There's a spot right at the entrance of the parks. You can go, I think you go north before you go down the hill. It goes up to 60-something feet, and I know I've talked down the valley that way, so I wasn't able to find out where they were at, but it will work, I guess. But like I said, it was not full quieting, and I didn't get a 100% copy. So, all right, good deal. We got all summer. The weather is great. The weather's going to be super great here for the next week and a half, so you never know.
Yeah, it is. I don't mean to take up everyone's time. I will just end with this. Yeah, my FT60, I think the receive audio is not super good anymore. I don't know if that's just something, I think someone had mentioned that maybe just after a number of years that the receive gets kind of bad, but boy, I'm interested in finding out if folks are purchasing HTs that do 2 meters and whatever else, what people are purchasing these days. But, there it is.
There it is. Well, I don't know. I don't know what they are. They're doing Baofengs on Temu for $3.92. That's what they're doing. But some of us want to have a real radio in the shack. Thanks for checking in.
49er.
And 49er. You know what? Somebody proxied you in, but we've got the real deal here, so I will put up the 49 check-in logo and say hello radio to you and Sweet Country Mama. Over.
Well, we sure as hell appreciate whoever proxied us in. Yeah, we're doing about a whole 3 watts here on this old sonar. Hopefully we're making it to your side of the town. You sure do sound better now. I heard you did some antenna work, and you're sure sounding good. You gained about an S unit. About an S unit or so over here in the sunny side, so sounding better. Hey, Dennis, have a great night. Wishing everybody well.
All right, thanks. Yeah, sometimes it's a matter of making sure all the connections are still connecting, the coax is good, and just getting up there and, what is that, spraying that SWR, low SWR grease or something. Anyway, it sounds good. Everybody's sounding good. Someone mentioned the receive. And I noticed the receive sounds good tonight, too. Less static. And I don't know if that's because I got better grounding or if it's just because people are cooperating. But you're sounding good, and thanks for checking in. We'll be getting to the radio soon, so if you got them warming up, don't go away. I want to say hello to 700 Weed Killers checking in from the Buckeye State. And, you know what? We're going to quickly go to the questions from 145. Here we go. Question number 1. What's the name of the popular tube used in early balanced modulator circuits for the generation of single sideband signals? Ooh. All right, so this is, what are the cues here? Tube, of course, early balanced modulator circuits, and sideband, generation of sideband signals. And there are 4 choices: the 12AX7, the 7360, the 6LQ6, and the 7630. So this is the name of the popular tube used in early balanced modulator circuits for the generation of single sideband signals. 12AX7, 7360, 6LQ6, 7630. I would be going for the 6LQ6 or one of those, because it's an early tube, so one of those numbers, like a 7360, but I don't know. Anybody have a shot here locally? Okay, I wasn't sure. Harvey might be holding one in his hand. So the answer is the popular tube used in early balanced modulator circuits for the generation of SSB signals. We've got Bill 12AX7, 21SC, the 7630, and the answer is the 7360. I think I would have said the 6LQ6, so I would be wrong. This tube is well suited for the task because it could function as both a crystal-controlled oscillator for carrier frequency and as a balanced modulator that suppressed the carrier. A subsequent mechanical filter would remove the unwanted sideband, leaving a single sideband signal. I have an HT-37, a helicopter, and it's got phasing. You have to phase out the carrier. So I have to look at my tube complement and see if it's using a 7360, because it's an AM radio, but it does sideband, but you have to phase out the carrier in the balance modulator. So maybe that's what that tube was for. All right, here we go. Number 2. Much to the, and I'm reading these calls, so bear with me. Much to the dismay of many hams, lots of military surplus radio gear operated at 115 volt AC, but at 400 hertz. Why didn't the military use 60 hertz like everyone else in the country? And we'll take a break here. We'll take a pause in the action to get a mobile check-in for 52. KB6GFD, over.
Oh, no, not mobile. Live and direct from SWL 52's closet. I'm just too busy to fire up the other rig, so we're going to make this work. But SWL 52 checking in from the closet.
Okay, the good side of the closet. You know, I looked at the full full-scale signal, and it looks okay, sounds okay. I heard you in my ear. There wasn't a lot of low frequency. I thought, well, maybe you are on the mobile radio, but you are indeed full scale and sounding good. And the 52, we've got you checked in, over.
Yeah, this is the problem with using the hand mic, and the radio is EQ'd for the golden microphone, which I'm currently not using. But thank you, Dennis, SWL 52.
Yeah, it's punchy, but boy, does it not have any low frequency. 73, thanks for checking in. KB6GFD.
Sorry, Dennis, I couldn't hear.
S8 in the Panther, Aaron, and Dennis, your S9. K6MGF.
All right, it sounds like there might be a station up in the national park,
Dennis?
so pick him up. This is the basic, Dennis, over.
Is it time to answer the question?
Yes, well, there was 2 questions. The tube question. Because I have 2 questions. So that's the tube question you're referring to?
No, the other one about the 400-something hertz.
Oh, yeah, let's get back to that, and I may have to turn down the crossband. So, question number 2. Much to the dismay of many hams, lots of military surplus radio gear operated at 115 volt AC, but at 400 hertz. Why didn't the military use 60 hertz like everyone else in the country? All right, so does it have something to do with being on a submarine? Over to you, Harvey.
I think it has to do with those items that used 400 hertz could use smaller components or something like that. I remember it had to do with size.
All right, and don't go away, Red Fox. I see you. The answer, I think you were correct. 400 hertz allows for the use of smaller, lighter, and more efficient electrical components like transformers and motors for saving space and weight in an aircraft. For example, a motor the size of a watermelon could be replaced by a motor the size of a 1-pound coffee can that could do the same work because it was running are needing 400 hertz. I said 40. It's 400 hertz as opposed to 60 hertz. So you are correct, sir.
Hey, I lucked out. I actually remembered something.
All right. Well, you're doing better than I am, and we still have an hour to go here. All right, very good. Let me jump out of the air chair. We're going to switch over to the tube radios. We'll be back. I know it's a little bit late. If they're still simulcasting over to old Radio Night, that is good. WikiWhack S9 Radio, Greg was listening in. I don't know if he's still out and about, but we might be chatting with him. Oh, and I wanted to, let me go back to the list here, check in SWL76. He's got an early check-in. Now, he's checking in early for next week. And so we'll check him in early for next week, and maybe even this week too. Red Fox 1, we've got you. Over. All right, I got to jump out of the air chair for like 2 minutes to make sure we're ready for the tubes, and then we will go at it with no problem. Oh, and there's one more. It is Boston, SWL 97. Jim, I think somebody proxied you in, but I see you live and direct, so let me turn the right page, and we'll put the X, yeah. In fact, it was an X. That's probably my wishful thinking that you would be here. Let me make the official over-my-head check-in. And all is well out there with Paul Revere and whoever else used to hang around in Boston. Thanks for jumping in. All right, now we'll jump out and we'll be back. So don't go away. You are listening to the Old Tube Radio Network, and we will be doing what we do best when we come back, and that's talking to the tube radios.
Hey, Cliff.
Anybody?
Yeah, let me sneak in before you. This one's for somebody back east.
All right.
Okay, thank you.
Harvey, have you got the 2 meters up?
If I can make contact with anyone, over.
Yeah, I got 2 meters up.
KB6GFT. Harvey, I hear this station. They just came on the air. They're way in the background noise, so they're probably going to be driving closer to listen in. So if we have to do the switch over, we will do that. Right now, you're well above them. KB6GFT.
Roger. Hope it stays that way. W6 OTR. KB5J. I think I'm far away from y'all. I'm actually standing out from the park right now. Y'all hear me?
Yeah, the station out in the park, I hear you. This is Fresno listening in, but you're doing a good job down in Central Valley. KB6GFT.
I'm transmitting on a 5-watt Quan thing UK5 right now. So I'm excited to hear that I'm out there.
Okay, very good. Yeah, and that's not bad. There's certain parts of the park that do a real good job, and some of them that don't. But you've got some areas there. You'll be up at 7,000 feet and be into the valley. All right, we're jumping out. KB6GFT.
You may not find us on your TV, because in case you did not know, we're being brought to you by
OTR.
Brought to you by
27.085 megahertz.
Brought to you by RADI.
The Old Tube Radio Network.
All right, RADIO. It is time for some RADIO, and that's the Old Tube RADIO. I wanted to say hello to everybody. Thanks for joining us tonight, and we're starting a little bit late on the tubes, but not a problem. And Harvey has a special radio, and I know it's getting late, so we want to jump in with that. We got some stations listening in across the USA here, Old Radio Night, where it's probably, is it Sunday yet? But here is the real deal. We're going to check something out. So Harvey, if you're within the sound of my voice, take a transmission over.
Okay. This is not the one you're thinking of. It's not the Greg Howe special. That'll be next, because he's here on the West Coast. This is for the East Coast. This is a Johnson Viking, Viking Messenger Whiteface, +2 desk mic. That's what he wanted on here. That's what he's got. It's got a whole bunch of tubes, because that's the way they made it. Anyway, it's got a pretty decent transmit, I believe. And I think it's a hair low, but best I could do. Receive is pretty good. It's got kind of a noise limiter in there, or a local type thing, where I can't really hear super far away. But I've tuned it best I could, and I think he'll be happy with it. Anyway, and it's got channels 6, 11, 12, 19, and 20 in it. So hopefully everything will be okay. Cliff, I appreciate you letting me go first. And Johnson, or a Viking Messenger by Johnson, it's listed as Viking, not a Johnson, but it's listed as Viking Messenger. Anyway, Sam's Photo Fact Book 1. Anyway, it can go AC and DC. Alrighty, well, the 5 channels are crystal receive, crystal transmit, that's it. No tunable. Orange on power on light, and a jewel, and a red jewel that's a transmit and modulation light. And it's a +2 desk mic. Thank you, Dennis.
All right, and thank you, Harvey. Sounding good, nice audio. That is, you would think a D104 might be the microphone you want, but the +2 working well, nice strong audio. You know what the output is. The jeweled lights are always cool, and this is one of the earlier radios, 1959, 1960. There was a 6-volt version, a 12-volt version, a 115-volt AC version, and in the FCC wisdom of, KEO 8492 base to Unit 1, you could use this as the base, and you'd buy the 6-volt version and use it as the mobile, and it was the way to go. It wasn't, I wouldn't say it wasn't the greatest receiver, but it definitely had a great transmitter, and of course E.F. Johnson knew how to make a transmitter. They just had to kind of tone it down from the stuff they were doing for the ham radio guys, and for the Class D 11 meters. E.F. Johnson, the Whiteface, the Viking, it is good. Back to you for one quick transmission, and then we'll head out. But it's sounding good, and hopefully it'll be on its way.
Roger. Should be on its way next week. Alrighty. Let me turn the modulator off. Okay. Modulator off. I don't know if I'm getting through. 3.5. Hello till about 8. Audio. There we go. Modulator off.
Sounding good. Without the Harvey range boost, and with the Harvey range boost, it's doing a good job all the way around. E.F. Johnson, Edgar F. would be proud, starting the company over 100 years ago, and here we are using their first venture into Class D. Not the first. Greg is working on that. S9 Radio is coming up with that. Don Stoner was ahead of the game on this one, but this was, E.F. Johnson knew what to do, so they got in the game pretty early and sounding good, and they built a great radio, because here we are in the 21st century sounding good. Thanks, Harvey. Hey, Cliff, are you... Hey, Cliff, are you listening on 2 meters? Hey, Harvey, are you listening? Can you get a hold of Cliff?
I can call him on the phone. Why?
We have in here a truck.
Hang on.
No, you're fine. Anyway, by the way, I can't call you on the phone. Key up again and see if Dennis can hear you. He may not be able to, but you can hear me, so we'll do something.
You can't hear me?
Cliff, you're sounding just fine. Take a transmission. We'll be number 2.
I got bad news, guys. I can hear all three of you.
Oh no, Phil, what am I going to do?
Yeah, Cliff, take a transmission. You sound great.
Okay, we'll try giving it a try then. Okay, from the Hammerland Manufacturing Company, a Giannini scientific company on Mars Hill, North Carolina, this is the Type CB-212, also known as the 212. Citizens band transceiver. There are 8 tubes, but only, what is this? Oh, I gotta move my light. Out here in the CB cabana is 6, excuse me, 6 channels. No waiting. It's crystal controlled, transmit and receive, no VFOs. Radio couldn't be any simpler. Back to you.
Couldn't be any simpler, but, you know, it was supposed to be simpler. That was the deal. Hammerland, Charlie Bravo 212, we're familiar with their redos of the receivers, but here they got into what looks like the standard 11-meter style base radio. Looking good. And I love the, and I think we're showing the picture of yours. It's got the Dymo label maker on the front, and of course it still has the Hammerland radio logo right over the speaker over.
Oh yeah, it's not in too bad a shape actually. It's just right now it's not receiving very well, but I will have to look into that later. See, the microphone here is the original Hammerland handheld microphone, hardwired into the front of the radio. I can't just quickly hook up another mic. Well, if you've got my picture of it, you'll see it's got the Hammerland meatball in the middle. The only thing it says on the back is made in USA. And, but I got to tell you, you know, near the truck. You know that Euphonics microphone? This thing, except for the color, is identical to that mic. I've got a few of them, so they must have been.
Underneath a truck driver, underneath a trucker, underneath a.
So Mars Hill, North Carolina, the Hammerland Corporation. Now here's another. I'm looking to see if there's a date on these radios, because Hammerland could have got in early, and I'm not seeing electronic switching. CB212, and it's not 23 channels. So this is probably early 60s. Not sure what Sam's photo fax it's in, but I think it's been around a while. 60 hertz, of course, it wasn't used on the ship, so it doesn't have the 400 hertz that we have to worry about. What I like is it has the S meter, and here's a question: can you, from memory, the S meter that's in the 212, is that the same one they stuck in the 205? Is it look about the same size? It's just the radio is smaller, so it looks bigger. Over.
Right. You know, I was actually going to mention that because yes, it is the identical same meter used in the HQ 205. And yeah, it looks much bigger on this teeny radio, but yeah, it's a teeny little meter. Back to you. And has great audio as well. And give me the rundown on the microphonium again. Over.
We have an upper truck driver. We have an upper semi-truck.
Certain, but I strongly suspect that this is a Euphonics Corporation microphone. It's a ceramic element, and like you say, if you put it, I have another Euphonics microphone. I was saying for my Pierce Simpson, and except for the color of the plastic, it looks identical in every way.
We have an SC by
Well, the hardwired, that's another clue that you've got an early radio, because they hardwired the microphones in. I don't know if that was a price thing. Let's save 98 cents and not put a mic jack in there, or it was like, well, nobody would be switching microphones. That's sort of a ham radio thing. Channel 11 was a common frequency for calling, so most of the radios came with 27085. Of course, this one has it in there as well. 6 crystal-controlled channels. I'm looking, and this weighs 14 pounds. Electronic switching. Oh, yeah, well, there you go. You can unplug the, maybe you can unplug the microphone, but if you did, your receiver would go away. Over.
Yeah, there's no relay in here, so yeah, with the electronic switching. And it's quiet, too. I actually kind of prefer the relay type switching. I like a nice click-clack, you know, to let me know that things are switching over. But yeah, this one is quiet as a kitten. Oh, and before I forget, the other thing I wanted to mention, yeah, it is not in Sam's. I do have the service manual for it, but you won't... that said, you know, I've got the service manual. I can't find a date anywhere in this thing, not even on I can't find a specific...
Well, maybe it's on the back. You know, sometimes they put those little paper schematic things on there. They sort of peel off over the years, but it is a good thing. I love the shot. The people are watching the video. They're looking at the radio, which you were sitting in front of, giving us radio number 2 tonight. And let me go to the close-up, because talk about simplicity. We went from the Johnson Viking to the Hammarlund, about the same. You've got squelch, volume, and a channel selector, and this also has the pilot light. And I don't know if that will wink at you when the modulation is on. I imagine your S meter probably moves a little bit, or the RF meter moves a little bit when you talk, so you know that you've got some modulation.
Yeah, the pilot light does not act as a modulation indicator. At least mine doesn't. Hello. But the meter does wiggle forward as I speak. But there's no indication of output power on the meter. You know what I mean? It shows S units and you know, dB over 9, but it does not show you know, like watts.
We have a neighbor truck on the PC Ripper on the north SC bike. We have a fat Ripper, a couple.
All right, well, we've got it on the list, number 2. Hammarlund, of course, noted for the receivers, and they got into the 11-meter version as well, CB212, and there was a 23-channel later version. And I don't know, I don't have any sales numbers on this, but you can't go wrong. And it's like Hallicraft. I love the cool H logos right on the front of the radio, so you knew who it was. Thanks for bringing it by. I'm looking at, I went to the close-up and I can't read what's on the label below Hammarlund, so I'm assuming that must either be something that goes with the channel selector or the guy's call sign. Over.
Oh, sorry about that. I do have higher resolution photos if you'd like me to send them to you. No, I replaced the original one That's mine. Because and it's got the same channels that it originally had when I got it. But
we want inflation. We want higher gas.
Back to you.
Back to me in the studio. All right, well, it works. I don't even know if you can still get tape for those things anymore, so we leave that on there.
Fortunately, I've still got a bunch of it from the late 60s and early 70s, so hopefully I won't run out. You might be able to still get some of this stuff on the internet or something like that. Transmit. Again, it doesn't, flash with much. It gets brighter when you key up, indicating, I guess, that you're transmitting. So they thought of something there.
Yeah, I got to do something. Maybe it's off of a B+ or whatever. It's not quite the Joule thing, but it's good. Always good to know that your radio is beaconing and it's on somewhere. Radio number 2, Hammarlund. Where's Shoals? Or where are they at? Where's the Hammarlund at?
Right, ODR. Mars Hill, North Carolina.
Mars Hill, all right. Where Shoals is our SWL. Mars Hill, North Carolina. So all those from Cackalack from North Carolina tonight, stand up and give a shout for Hammarlund Radio. Sounding good. Thank you, Cliff. We'll put you down for number 2, and the Hammarlund, one of my favorite radios.
Yeah, one more thing. These came in a couple of generations, I guess. If you got my picture, mine's the one that's black on top, and then metal on the bottom where the knobs are.
We were Joe Biden.
Had at least one other versions, which was gray on top and black on the bottom. And stuff like that. I'm not sure. You'll have to ask Harvey.
Because Joe Biden.
Because I think he has both of them.
He has one of each for each day of the week. That's how you know you've got the radio signals when you have a Hammarlund for each day of the week. All right, we've got a breaking station. The Jingle Singers they're on hiatus. They're not even at the microphone. So Jingle Singers, will catch you next time. Thank you, Cliff, for Radio 2. And who was the breaking station?
Hello there, Dennis. I'm checking in.
All right, 53. Thank you, sir. The legend. It looks like somebody had proxied you in, but we will make it official on the SWR check-in list for 5-3. Over.
Yeah, I appreciate it there. Okay, 73. Catch you later. Bye-bye-bye.
I like inflation with Joe Biden and Kamala.
And you are listening to the Old Tube Radio Network, your Saturday night place to be.
You're listening in the latest style.
27.085 megahertz. Channel 11, Old Tube Radio.
In wonderful
Fresno, California.
And thanks, Bill, for looking that up. 129 with 2 crystals. So if you're listening, Cliff, if you had the ad back in the day for the CB or the Hammarlund CB212, that wasn't a bad price. That was even a better price point, I think, than the EF Johnson. But that was sort of an entry level point, unless of course you had the $40 kit from Radio Shack, and I think maybe some of the Heath kits and the Gonset, was it G11 or G12, or the ICO 762K, that kit I think was $69 or $99, depending on if you built it or not. So you could get on the air for less than $100, but it wasn't easy. The Old Tube Radio Network listening.
60.
Hey, Joe, you've got the big antenna up. You're Radio 3. Go ahead, Joe. You'll be Radio 3.
Sure, Dennis. I'd like to check in my Hustler base. I didn't get a chance last week.
Underneath a trucker, underneath a trucker, underneath a truck driver. We bestowed the SC bike, and we have the dog that good beauty bike.
Doggone it, you kind of slipped away from me. Anyway, I'd like to check in my Hustler base. 8 tubes, 8 channels.
Yeah, we're gonna trip over the roads. We got the pop wheelies with all the homies and all this shit.
Turner +3. Sorry.
Well, we had the Turner +2 on the EF Johnson, so why not put a +3 on the Hustler? I've got the biggest picture I could get, World Radio Labs. Here's another classic crossover from Leo Meyerson and Globe and World Radio Labs, WRL, right on the front, giving you the variable tuning, saving you some money on the channel selector you're putting in the crystals, and working that. It's not quite the Don Stoner. Let's figure out how to do it with 5 tubes. I think you said this one has 7, and if you like blue, it's good. Over.
20, 20, 20. Yeah, we got you 20. Okay.
We only Gabe, because Gabe is a Kia boy. All the Kia boys out there always hit my truck.
You were not only involved.
I know I can bestowed the SC. We need to be a bike right there, stealing Kias and Hyundais.
Was that for me?
I'm grateful that he took interest.
All the Kias and Hyundais, how people work hard for that shit.
When this base was manufactured.
This is a one-channel radio.
It figures, right? Well, the spotter switch, if you can see the video here, that helps you put the channel, whatever it is, channel 453. That's not the channel number, but that's the number of crystal where in the position of the radio. You would have to know the channel number, and you'd spot yourself by tuning the dial between whatever it is, 1 and 23, and be good to go. And probably look at the S meter to get a full-scale deflection on the meter, knowing that it was together. So I think that radio typically runs only on Saturday evening, so you don't have to worry about spotting the Old Tube Radio Network. Over.
Yeah, that's for sure. Doggone it is a radio indeed. A handsome little radio too. Every time I take a look at it.
Okay, well, I'll try anyway. I'll do the best I can.
Radio, Dennis, and I'm proud to own the doggone thing. Anyway,
I will see if I can
we
pump it
thank
up
you
a
for letting
little
us
more.
check this one in. We'd like to.
Because riding the air wheelie bike, we do hand drags, combos, and all this good stuff. We do hand drag and stuff.
I can do that.
All right, thank you, Joe. You are Radio 3, a favorite here on the Old Tube Radio Network. A Citizen Band transceiver, it says on the top. The Hustler, from the Hustler, World Radio Labs. Sometimes the ham radio guys, when they came down to the Class D, kind of had to change the look and change the name so they wouldn't get in trouble with their amateur radio compatriots, saying, "Well, you guys sold out to us, but it's a good radio and we enjoy it." Over.
Oh yes, thank you much, Dennis. Doggone it. The Hustler and the Rustler, I know they were a thing of the past, and the Hustler stepping up to probably be the radio at that time.
Because we do hand drag, we have the combo stuff, we do crisscross, we have Storons, we have every freaking bike, we have e-bikes and Tolorias, all the good bikes.
And, we'll get another one warmed up.
All right, Joe, it's a fan favorite. Always some good comments coming in on the chat window for that. 73, and thanks for bringing it by. I want to say who's leaving tonight? Gary, thanks for joining us. And we will look for you next time. The Old Tube Radio Network. And who's next? Radio number 4. I think Harvey is got on that one. Over.
1047.
All right, 47 will be after that.
Okay. I don't know how well this is going to work. Okay. Crossband. Okay. From
World Radio Lab in honor of Don Stoner and Greg Howe from last week. This is the ECBK dash 1. Does it say dash 1? No, this one just says ECBK. Economy Citizen Vander Kit. Looks just like the Radio Shack one. Oh, it's got World Radio Labs on there. One channel transmit, crystal controlled, tunable receive, but it's super regenerative receive, which means you hear everything. So, and it's totally on receive. But I have to adjust the regen control for just about each person I'm listening to. And that's on the back. Okay, I should be keyed up long enough. The ECBK from World Radio Labs.
Wow, all right, that has a big signal. It's also got a large AC note, and I'm wondering if that is being perpetrated by the Harvey range boost, but the audio is incredibly loud. I was seeing some of the microphoniums that Greg was showing with the radio, and he was losing his connectivity on the internet, so he may not be able to listen in, but it's got a big signal, and you're on a regen receiver. So basically, your receiver is looking for the strongest station. So hopefully that's me. Over.
Okay. Oh yeah. I can see the AC hum. Audio. Yeah. Well, I turned the modulator down a bit. I don't know if you can hear me.
Yeah, you're still in. That helps a little bit. I think what happens is the modulator is accentuating the hum, but I'm impressed that the audio is so loud. I was thinking it was going to be hard to hear you audio-wise. Over.
2 feet, Dennis.
But boy, that hum is loud. It's as loud as you are. Over.
We are the New York Patrol.
Okay, that's enough of this. My ECBK from World Radio Lab. Just about one of the first CB radios.
All right, give me the name and model number of the radio again. Over. Give me the model and name of the radio again. Over. All right, maybe it blew up. Maybe it's on its last legs. Yeah, what was the model of the radio again?
Are you talking to me? Your power dropped.
Because every single bike we pop wheelies, radio again? Yeah, because they do hand track.
Yeah, what was the model of the radio again? Over.
ECBK, Economy Citizens.
Because the Booty Squad and all this good stuff. That's the stuff. Yeah, because all the hand track.
And that was number 1.
We ride bikes and stuff.
All right, so that was ECBK1.
Well, in literature, it has the -1 or the 1, but on the front of the radio, they don't have the 1. It just says World Radio, model ECBK, below. Okay. I guess you need me to dual transmit. Okay, ECBK kit by World Radio Lab, 1960, according to what paperwork I saw. Okay, we're out. By World Radio.
So does that actually look like a kit? Does it look like somebody built it over?
Oh yeah, it does.
Does it look like you built it over?
No, I didn't build it, W6OTR. I didn't build it. It also needs a bottom. I'm going to have somebody make me an aluminum plate bottom for it. It didn't come with a bottom, so I'm bottomless. Anyway, W6OTR.
All right, thanks for... we can't tell. This is radio, so you're okay.
A truck on the truck on the wheelie bike. You can hear me. The SD because
Negative. Anyway, we don't care if the top or the bottom. It looks like whoever did the kit put it together because we can hear it.
we have a neighbor trucker. We have a neighbor truck driver. We have a neighbor truck.
Yeah, and that is radio number 4 tonight.
There's all the neighbor truck drivers, all the neighbor trucker, all the neighbor truck drivers. We have all the neighbors out there. We have all the neighbors driving the semis. You know, we have all the neighbor truck drivers driving the semis.
All right, got that. Got radio 4 for the ECBK from World Radio Labs, and we'll take radio 5 as the Browning Golden Beagle. Browning Lavatories, over. Otherwise known as the R68 T68.
Oh, the deal. Oh, deal.
60.
Hey, Joe, I copy you, over.
Yeah, Dennis, doggone it, let's check in my Robin. So, 23. The Robin 123B, T23B. 11-2, 23 channels and receive, and also 11-10 extra channels according to the switches I got on the front.
Have you ever gone with the Post-it note and a friend with lots of time and figured out those 10 channels, like, you know, it's 27 through 35? Is there a method to the madness, over?
You know, we have to know.
Starts climbing from there.
We have to
in normal position and go to channel 1, and it would be 1 through channel 23. We got 11.
We have a neighbor trucker. We have a truck driver.
Well, my guess is it made sense to whoever put that switch in, and whatever little 3x5 card cheat sheet that they had in the day is long gone. So hats off to you for figuring out at least how to get close.
Yeah, well, something to do.
Because they have a truck. On the truck, and on the neighbor trucker, and on the neighbor truck. Well, we have a neighbor trucker, we have a neighbor truck driver, we have a neighbor truck, we have a neighbor truck driver.
And right now we are on the range. 12.
We don't give a fuck.
In an RF game.
Well, as we mentioned before, the Panasonic 2 chassis, Robin paid the extra $1 or $2 to pull out what the controls, fine-tune RF gain, and all the lights. Haven't done a price comparison between all of them to see how much you paid extra for that, but were you on a budget, you could probably find the least expensive radio that had that chassis inside and sound just the same. Nobody would know. So it's more of a driver-operator thing, sitting in the air chair. It's nice to have all that extra.
Yeah, Dennis, doggone it, I don't know what their intentions were. I don't know if they started on the front, designing this radio, or in the back. There's just as much goodies in the back as there is on the front. You've got your... I don't know. All this in the front, so they were busy with this one.
Well, Robin had the T123 before that. They made a lot of great later 70s transistorized radios. A lot of people had them, so it is their tradition. Although here at the Old Tube Radio Network, the Yellowbird, the green item you have there for the 123B, that is what we remember. That's kind of why we're here. It's like the cars with, as we always say, the cars with the fins and the chrome and the little knobs that poke you in the face. That's the good stuff. Over.
And I don't ever forget to mention that it gets so damn hot you can't even touch a knob.
You have special gloves? Maybe you need some asbestos gloves for that.
Yeah, I try not to get funny with it or anything like that. But anyway, that'll do it for this one. If you... Come here.
All right, I think we've got time for one more before we sign out for the evening. See what we can do. The Old Tube Radio Network, Real Radio's Glowing in the Dark. We've been counting the tubes since about 1986. We're not quite to 1 million yet. And so the jingle singers said...
What are the magic numbers?
27.085 megahertz, channel 11.
Are the magic letters?
OTR.
Right here in
Fresno, California.
Radio Magic.
Old Tube Radio.
For you.
Trying to find the number here.
Uh-oh, don't tell me you blew it up. I actually think the band is starting to open up, too.
Dennis, I'd like to check in my Johnson Messenger 2, TOO.
Started the evening with the Messenger 1, the white face, so the TWO is a good way to put bookends on the whole thing. Over.
Oh, no doubt.
We have an infiltrator!
10 channels. And 2 little bitty controls on the top there where you got to be right in front of it to see the channel selector, your alphabetical order on the left side, and you got your volume and squelch. It's not much of a radio to work with. But boy,
Yeah, we have an infiltrator. We have a tractor on an infiltrator.
Well, I think E.F. Johnson probably believed that, you know, you're talking base to mobile, you're not going to be swapping channels too much. And so once you get set, I'm pretty sure the deal was that you were going to be staying on that channel because that's sort of where the base and the mobile goes. But as we know, a lot of people are channel hopping and talking to somebody on 11, and then later on in the evening you go to channel 8 and talk to somebody that way. Not quite what the FCC intended. So at some point when they did the 223, I think they figured out you need 23 channels, you need an S meter, because people would constantly be asking you, what am I hitting you with? And on the Johnson 2, you say, I don't know.
Yeah, I've had that happen to me many a times. And because of that, when you work with a radio that doesn't have a meter, you know, something to show you what the other person might be hitting you with, you can do a little check and do it just fine.
All right, Joe, I am going to go ahead and, as they used to say, tie the ribbons on it. I'm not sure where the ribbons came from. But the E.F. Johnson Messenger TWO to end it from Messenger 1. This was the early 60s to the mid to late 60s. They didn't make a lot of radios for 11 meters, but what they did works quite well. Worked for them out of their company. I mean, before they were Kenwood, or went into Kenwood, you know, the E.F. Johnson was, we talked to Larry Radio Ham guy who worked at the company from the 1980s. He said a great place to work. He said, just watch your crystals, though. He said, for some reason, they had crystals that would drift, but you're pretty much on frequencies. You got one of the good ones. All right, I think we can do better with the jingle singers. At least they're approved. They're approved for 27085.
You're tuned to
OTR.
your dial reads
Channel 11,
right here in
Fresno, California.
Stay with us
Old Tube Radio.
and be modern.
It's about as modern as I can get, over.
But for those about to say, where did you go, Skippy?
You drop down, Dennis.
I hear sounds like Australia's starting to come in, so we might have some openings there. Now, if we could convince them to check in their tube radios, we could go for another hour. Check in their tube radios. All right, I probably should read the list before I blow something up. So check your 10-meter beacons, check your FT8 frequencies at .74, and see if the band is opening up. I'll clear out. Maybe we want to do some long-distance communication. I didn't bring up, and I will do that right now. I had fired it up earlier, but there wasn't much on the DX chart. There's two from which to choose. One of them is showing pretty slim pickings. And the other one for 10 meters, let me see where it's at here. It's showing all the bands. I don't think we want that. We just want to see what's happening up on 28 for the maximum usable frequency, and there it is. So it looks like, Craig, if you're listening, it's showing that San Diego is doing a good thing, and a little bit in Alberta. If I can back out, I'll move over. There it is. We got some Hawaii and possibly Australia. So the band's trying to work its magic, but we'll see what we can do. Work its magic. The Old Tube Radio Network, real radio's going in the dark, and I need the fanfare so I can get out of here. Here we go.
Ladies and gentlemen, time now for the current OTR totals.
All right, that's the totals. Is that total or totally insane? I think the total insanity tonight maybe is where the totals are going. The old Tube Radio Network. Snow Beast, Foxman, that is the station you will hear, especially in your area, when he goes flat side, 188, Snow Beast doing the Skipland things. You've probably heard him before. He checks in as 188. He wasn't in tonight. And Rob, I'm trying not to I'm trying not to fall out of the air chair tonight, but thanks for joining us. A lot of people jumping in from near and far out. The old Tube Radio Network. When you've been on 40 years, it goes from like wackiness to ethanol powered, and these things, they just come and go. But what we can count on are the Tube Radios to show up, and they did tonight. E.F. Johnson, Messenger, Whiteface. I think that radio should be heading out somewhere that we might hear it on another program, I hope. Somewhere. It's a nice sounding radio. Hear the replay on that, Harvey. The Hammerlin CB212. E.F. Johnson, Hammerlin, names you know from other receivers and amateur radio operators, but I think the company sat down at their desk and said, you know what, this Class D thing, we can make some money off of that if we could just not let the don't advertise in QST. That's where Swan made the mistake in 1969 and put the advertisement for the 1011 in QST and got some flack. So just keep it on the QT. The World Radio Labs hustler Leo Meyerson also figured out you could cut your 80-pound Globe King 500 down to 5-watt DC input and make a couple $100 on it, and people would buy it. Thanks, Joe, for that. The Echo Charlie Bravo Kilo #1, another World Radio Lab, and Harvey, I apologize for not having a picture of that. We'll have to work to get a shot on that. And if you're listening, and Greg made a comment, and we weren't sure, and I didn't ask you if you were running that without the case. Perhaps the case completes a grounding circuit. As you heard or will hear when you watch the replay, there was quite a bit of an AC note, as loud as you were coming in with that. It never seemed to quite go away, but the audio was indeed loud. So we'll work on that again next week for another transmission. The R68 T68 for Browning Laboratories, our one and only Browning Laboratories tonight. The Robin T123B, and then rounding out the bookends and giving the E.F. Johnsons the head up for the most heard manufacturer tonight, the TWO. Thanks, Joe, for that. It always seems to work. It usually takes a key up or two to get the bugs out of it, and then it works. Speaking of getting the bugs out, that's where I'm heading tonight. The green room says we've got some ice cream, and I think Gary said it was cherry pie tonight. The old Tube Radio Network says do something like this where you are. It's a get on the air night. It doesn't have to be classic radios, but get in front of the microphonium and have a chat or two with your neighbor. Also, likewise, if you're studying for your ham radio license, keep it up. The frequencies are in pretty decent shape. Cycle 25 will be around, so no problem there, and a couple of watts and a wire will work quite well, especially when this frequency, when this band, 11 meters, isn't working, or it's working too well, as the case may be. You can kind of head out the side door and make a contact somewhere else. So good night, everybody. Thanks for joining us at oldtuberadio.net, and we will be back again next week doing what we do best, and that's searching for the classic tube radios.
Good show.
And I'm hearing Skipland come in.
Did you get this one?
I got that one over.
Okay, see ya.
All right, were you operating the ECKB with, you said it was bottomless, right? So there was something missing.
Yeah, no bottom plate.
That was shiny now.
I got it without the bottom plate. Anyway, I ran with the modulator. There's AC hum. I'll check it through. I gotta check the tubes. I haven't
Bye-bye.
in about 15 years, so here we go.
Yeah, I think when you got rid of the range boost, it was still there. Greg was online, and he was saying maybe that case has to do something with completing some grounding.
Well, how about
Well, no, you're good on that one.
We didn't have a truck driver. We're throwing the AC bike. We're throwing a yever. I'm throwing the AC bike. We're throwing wheelie bike. Because of the throw that we...
All right, that's just a thought, because it was loud, but it wasn't distorting the audio at all. It just was like it was inserted along with the audio. It's like, and then we could hear you. It wasn't going, it wasn't affecting the incoming. It was adding to what was there. So no DX and Wildmar. Hey, 76. I'm just getting ready to shut it down. Somebody give you a proxy, but we'll go with the absolute possible thing, and I hope you had a great day down there. It was nice here in Fresburg. There's the official 78, and we are good to go. And yeah, it sounds like Australia or Hawaii coming in. Just wait, it's heading your way. That is like a bad bowl of Wheaties or something.